Hi there, friends. Before we begin, a big thanks to Inspect All Pest Services. You the man. Our title sponsor for Podcasting Tours 3, October 12th. Tannery Road, Beaufort, Georgia. Get your tickets now at thebaileyshow.com. Before Friday, they'll go up then. Price will go up. Inspect All Pest Service, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control, and also taking care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services. I bet you Nick will come over and give you a big old fat juicy hug. He's just that good of a guy. Taking care of you in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. If you are in Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, and or Virginia, guess what? You need to call FPC Insurance. They're great. Really, really good. I got a direct backline to a guy named Obi that will hook you up. If you want it, you can get a hold of me. Anyway, perfect for new homeowners, or if you just want to reshop your current insurance policies, which you should do every year, by the way. 888-308-1841, or email them info@fpcinsuranceservices.com, or get a quote online, fpcinsuranceservices.com. Whether it's for your house, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or personal policy. Thinking about getting a recreational vehicle, pricing them out. The Aurora Law Firm, the Mad Dog, he was on this week. Any questions for the Mad Dog for his next visit? Get those to me. TheAuroraLawFirm.com. Criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, and more. Based out of Georgia, but the Mad Dog, as I say, he can manhandle you. Nah, it doesn't sound right. If you were a judge, you would manhandle the bad guy. He'll manhandle your situation. How about that? But can litigate all over the United States. TheAuroraLawFirm.com. And then the Ridgeline Counseling, need help, get help. That's Dr. David Markwell and his 10-plus therapist in-house based in Georgia. You want to pop into one of the three locations, one across from Sprayberry High School, Sandy Plains, East Cobb, Marietta near the square in McKaysville, just outside of Blue Ridge, or get a virtual session going. That's what I do. Get a hold of Dr. David Markwell. Such a good guy. I mean, really a good guy. MarkwellTherapy.com, and you can email him directly, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. Last but not least, my wife. I am RachelGuy@gmail.com. IAMRACHELGUI@gmail.com. If you're looking for a house, buy or sell in Florida and or Georgia, she'll take care of both. All right? Let's be cool in those emails. You guys are pretty cool, by the way. But I know there's some freaks out there. I'll need some dirty emails to my wife. But if you want the best real estate agent known to man, you get a hold of the guy. How about that? I am RachelGuy@gmail.com. All right, you want to sponsor the show? We'd love to have you. Let's have a conversation. Get a hold of me via thebaileyshow.com. Need website help? Got that taken covered. Same with SEO stuff with IamJustAG.com. He's part of the Bailey Entertainment Network family. All right? thebaileyshow.com. All right, let's begin.
You know,
what do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS. That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, man, let's do it.
Yeah, there it is, episode 230 of the BS. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there, that's the Iron Fisted one, Chuck Lunsford. Hello, Chuck.
what's up, man? I found out recently that if you're an organ donor, you cannot donate your testicles. So
Is that true?
yeah, I found that out.
Ooh, I got a dumb question to follow that up, or what could be a dumb question. That's a dumb question. Are your testicles organs?
Yeah, but they can't donate them because that would be your seed. So if they put it in somebody else and they have kids, that's your DNA.
Oh, dude, did you ever watch that? I think I briefly brought it up. Did you ever watch that documentary about, it's like the man that gave birth to 1,000 kids or something like that? You know what I'm talking about?
The man with the man with 10,000 children, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what it is either, but yeah, it's something like that.
It was awesome.
It was fascinating, right? Like this guy, so you end up finding out that this guy overseas was donating his sperm all over the world, right? And he would get paid vacations. He was made, and it was like a syndicate. Like he had a partner, and it was this like almost criminal investigation, because most countries have laws that you can only donate certain amount, but the facility is in charge of making sure those policies and those rules are enforced, in which I guess most don't. Think about this. Like, I never even thought about, like, you go, okay, I'm going to donate sperm, no big deal. You just think that's it, right? You shoot your shot and you're done. You get whatever it is and it's over. But this guy had done it so many times that he had so many kids out there that there was a good chance that his kids would be banging his kids. So not only do you have the issue of possible mental retardation with that happening, which is a fact, right? But there is something that exists that if there is a family member of yours, something in our body is automatically attracted to that person. I never even knew that. That was a thing. That's a thing. So they get all these families together and most of them are lesbians, right? Because obviously lesbians can't have children on their own. So they go and they get a sperm donor and stuff like that. Then there was a backlash after this documentary for people that hate lesbians that are going, well, you fucking asked for it. You know, be normal, right? That's what they'd say. I'm not saying that. That's what the haters would say, right? Like, have a fucking normal relationship, you wouldn't have this problem. You know what I mean?
So you never did it? You never donated?
No, never.
Never in your life. You never went in and even tried.
Well, I donated. I just never donated at a facility. I donated when I was younger and dating numerous times, but
I did it at a facility once.
How much did you get?
$76.
I bet you at the time that was a lot of money.
Dude, I was 19. It was amazing. And you know, they're not supposed to let you do it that young. But it was California. It was sketch. But me and a bunch of my buddies went in and did it. We had a great time. It was like, I don't know, we probably made like $500. It's a good time.
I want to hear a story of somebody that donated at a sperm donation facility, and the hot nurse was like, "Can I help you?" And
No, that didn't happen.
It's got to exist. You know, we had on. God, I wish I remember. Maybe a two-peer will be able to help me remember who it was. We had a woman on. She was a great guest that worked at this sperm center. And there was a reason we had her on. It was like there was like a big thing behind it. She was such a great guest. And I think I asked her that question, you know, does anybody ask you for their help? And she's like, oh, all the time. You know, it's like a massage parlor, you know, you know, that kind of thing. But I mean, that was like, why not? You know, I mean, if it helps the cause, you know, no big deal.
I think that wasn't the weirdest one to me. I don't know if you never got a vasectomy, did you?
No, I don't need to. My wife had a hysterectomy.
So I got a vasectomy, and I'll tell you, man, when you're talking about the nurse, that was a weird situation. Like when they take you back there, they try to make you comfortable. They had to give me Valium because I've never been so scared in my life. But the nurse comes back and she like pulls out the Barbasol and starts shaving you, like all that. Because I guess they want it to be completely shaven before the doctor goes in, makes the incision, and does the clippity clip. And I'm not saying it was arousing. What's the right term here?
Arousing.
Yeah.
That's the right.
But you're so scared. Like you're so scared, and then you're kind of like, you know, I don't know. You shouldn't feel that way.
It's okay. Like what? Why can't you say that? I mean, I'm not beating you up, but I'm just saying, why can't guys say that? You know,
what do you mean?
It's natural. It's something you can't avoid. If you see a beautiful woman, you know, like, are you trying to tell me a woman, my wife, your wife, anybody's wives, they don't get aroused when they see another man that they're attracted to? Are we that naive to think that our wives, when they go out, they don't see something that arouses them? They're not watching something on television and they don't get aroused by, but no one ever says that, right?
But we're talking about a situation, like a weird situation, like the equivalent of an arousal being in my situation. That's like Rach getting turned on when she's getting waxed. It's just
Probably.
a weird. No, no, they
Why-
don't.
Why? Well, I'm not saying she does or they do. I'm saying if it does happen, it's an uncontrollable feeling. You know, you look. I remember not so much anymore, but for some reason when I was younger, and I would go to the gym and I'd get on the treadmill or the bike, and just the grinding of my gym shorts, right, just going back and forth. By the time, I was 10 minutes into my workout, I wasn't fully erect, but I was aroused. I felt good about it because I was like, God, this is longer than normal. And I would tell, a lot of it would be radio ha, funny joke, but, when I'd say things just because I want to see how people react. But I would tell people, sometimes I tell strangers, if I get into a conversation, be like, I was just over there, got aroused. And, and then you kind of couple that with a good looking woman in front of you, wearing those yoga pants. What are you supposed to do? Like,
They all wear them too. They all wear them.
You're a guy, it doesn't mean you don't love your wife or you're going to cheat on your wife. It just means you're a dude, if anything, your wife should be like, all right, let's take advantage of it. Let's go do something about it. You know what I mean? But that's not how we think. I mean, I don't know if my wife came out and was like, I just got back from the gym. I was doing cardio. I got aroused by the friction of my thighs. And there was this guy in front of me doing some cardio. I couldn't help it. It was an uncontrollable urge. I really want to make love to you right now. I don't know how I feel about that either.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put a pillow over your face before we do it. But man, I'm so excited. Like,
would you mind if I call you Greg for the next 15 minutes? Like, how the fuck do you know his name?
He gave me his number. He gave me his number.
It was on his gym bag. Dude, I played poker the other night till 4 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so that's not surprising.
So it is surprising because I like to get into bed fairly early so I can get up early. And it made me sleep until like 10 o'clock the next day. And I hate staying in bed. Like because like 4 or 5 hours out of the day is already shot. I like to get up at like 6, But I had to stay. One, I was having a good time. And two, my poker's ups and downs, peaks and valleys, so I never really hit my full peak, but I definitely hit a valley. And so like I got taken. Like I was at like some of these kids that play at this poker room in Orange City, Florida, are really good, like really good poker players. This one kid, his name's like Pablo or Pedro or some shit like that, and he doesn't look real. He looks like he's 8, right? But he's over 21 because he's drinking. And he's a really good poker player, like a really good poker player. I like playing against these types of people because it makes me a better poker player. And I know this motherfucker bluffed me probably 9 out of 10 times. It's just, he knew that I play tight, and he knew that money meant something to me. But at a poker table, you can't think like that. You know what I mean? You got to just play it smart. And I just there were, I think maybe 2 times I called his bluff, and I felt good about it. But there are some big hands that we got into. When he's putting out $700-800 bets, I'm like, I can't call that. And he knows that. Because
even if you had like a really good hand, you still wouldn't call it. $700 or $800 is a lot, but you got to flush. You got to flush.
If you have the nuts, yes. But if you don't have the nuts, even if you have, let's say 4, 6, 8 are on the board, and I've got pocket kings, and there's 2 clubs out there, and he bet $700. So, and he called my raise a pre-flop of $75. Knowing that, he's calling it because he knows I have a big hand. He's calling it knowing that he's pretty much been schooling me the entire night. Right? I mean, he just knows, and I knew that getting in the hand with him. And unfortunately, I bowed out like halfway through, And I was so pissed off that I did that. I should have just, and then, I saw the smirk on his face afterwards and I was like, fuck. But I was down and I wanted to leave up. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I didn't leave down as much as I was going to leave down, which was a lot, So I was like, I had to stay till 4 o'clock in the morning just to get back to close to even, outside of having fun. I mean, a lot of the guys at the table I kind of know now, and it's just fun. Poker players are hustlers. I mean, they all are. Like they're your best friend until you get into a hand with them, right? And then they just want your money. They're lie, cheat, and steal. That's just how it is. So, what's that?
Isn't that poker room like on a? I'm not going to say bad part of town, but it's seedy, right?
I mean, it's not in the. I mean, let's be honest. How many casinos and poker rooms are in the best part of town, right?
So that's what I'm saying. And you're there at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, aren't you worried that somebody's gonna I don't know, rape you or something?
God willing. No. It's not that bad. They got security and stuff. I mean, I walked out to my car and there's some people in the parking lot. And so, but that
they all knew you were poor.
Right? You're not going to get mugged coming out of a poker room if you got the look on your face that you just lost all of your money.
They're like, what about him? No, he's broke, S.A. He's broke.
No. And if you walk out at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's when normal people are up, like old people on their bikes and they're walking. So you try to hit that window of seedy to normal. It's like where the seedy people go back into their caves. Now it's a really nice room. It's well run, really good action. So it's my home poker room now, Orange City. It's 9 minutes from my house. So but I was there, so it was good, because the Olympics were on towards the end of the run of the Olympics. You got to watch the men's basketball team win the gold. And then, after kind of like all the big, I guess this is how they did it, is, after all the big ones, basketball being the big one, obviously for the United States, soccer being the big one for the United States. Then they start putting these new sports on. So they had breakdancing, and I forgot breakdancing was an Olympic sport this year.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against breakdancers, but there's no fucking way that breakdancing should be an Olympic sport. Like, Olympic sports, here's my new definition of what an Olympic sport should be. Do you think that sport could have at some point in time be done in the Colosseum in Rome? Or in Greece, where they're walking around with their little leaf penis cover things on and stuff. I could see them shooting some hoops. I can see them playing some tennis. I can see them playing some golf. But I just can't see them breakdancing. It's just I can't see them.
Julius, do it again. He's spinning around in his robe.
Oh, you think I'm good? You should see my friend Mark Anthony. Oh, he's really good. I think he's mad at me because I was making fun of this. He was talking to the other senators about me. Watch him stab me in the back because he was so pissed off at me. Watch me find out that Caesar was stabbed because he made fun of Mark Antony, of breakdancing. Watch me find out that was the whole Ides of March thing, right?
I just think it's funny that you said, no offense to the breakdancing community, both of them. So I don't know any breakdancers personally. I don't know if you do. But out of all the sports in the Olympics, it's interesting that they have added another one that I know no one that has ever tried it. Because there's fencing. I don't know nobody that's ever fenced in my life. Proud to say it. There's curling in the Winter Olympics. I don't know anybody that's ever curled. That's about it, dude. I think everything else I've either tried or I know somebody that's tried. Breakdancing? Don't know anybody.
Well, I was watching and it wasn't entertaining to me, so I didn't quite get into it. I tried. I really did. I tried. I hate to be negative about something like this, but I just don't get it. Like, if I were walking down the streets in New York and I were to see some kids breakdancing on a flattened cardboard box, That I get, right? That I would give money. They've got, Run DMC playing in their, boombox.
It's not the 80s, dude.
If I were to turn on America's Got Talent and see breakdancers trying to win America's Got Talent, that I get. But representing my country, breakdancing just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't see that as I don't know. It doesn't scream patriotism. You know what I mean? Breakdancing. It just doesn't make sense. And then you add insult to injury where you have this poor Australian girl that somehow made it into the Olympics, and she looked ridiculous, and then they've got to come out and defend her about how she, was made fun of because she's not a good breakdancer. And then she won her way into the Olympics, and then she gets up there and she looked like she was having a seizure, right? I mean, but who am I to judge, because I don't know what is good.
She looked like she was having the time of her life. I mean, she was like putting it on, like the faces that she was making to the umpire, or not the, what are they called, judges? And they gave her 0 points, by the way. She had 0, which is pretty hard to do. But she was like flexing. She had the hat on backwards. I think she took the culture of breakdancing and tried to make it her own. But I mean, dude, she's in like her, I mean, I don't know how old she is. She looks like she's in her 30s. She's got a master's degree in music, and it just didn't fit. But I did see the interview you're talking about. She's like crying. People are making fun of her so hard. I mean, she's crying. It's sad. It's a sad situation.
Because you get, a girl that loves doing this breakdancing thing, and she does everything she's told to do and supposed to do. And no one pulled her aside and said, hey, why don't we just do this for fun? We don't have to go to the Olympics. We don't have to perform this in front of millions and millions of people. Like, there needs to be that filter in everyone's life, right? That says, hey, look, let's just keep it at the hobby level. You know what I mean? There's no need to put yourself out there like that. She obviously did not have that person in her life. I would be pissed off at my friends if they put me in that situation, to be honest with you.
Did you see the interview in Australia they had with her, and they brought her friends in because she refused to do interviews right now. And one of the guys that she used to compete against, right? He said, when they interviewed him, they said, was she a good break dancer on the circuit? And he's like, I mean, she has won one before.
Yes.
Like, he was being like, so like, well, she's not the worst, It's like, but I don't know. I don't know how they choose these people. The reason breakdancing needs in the Olympics is because they wanted to bring in ballroom dancing. So this year they brought in breakdancing to say, okay, is dancing going to be able to be a part of the Olympics? So if this was successful, or if it is, I don't know, we're going to see ballroom dancing in the next one. You know how terrible that would be?
Why do we have to, why is dancing? Can we see stripper dancing? Like,
maybe one day.
Well, I think they tried to get, you want to talk about a sport and you want to get dancing in the Olympics, you get some of the best exotic dancers in this country, work that pole. Now, that sport, I'll tell you what, I've seen a girl climb a shiny gold pole about 20 feet up and slide down upside down, and
catch themselves like an inch off the ground. And it just squeaks. And their face is like this, like Mission Impossible. Yeah, dude, I would watch that. And if you line that up with volleyball and trampoline and you put pole dancing in the middle, guys are calling in sick. Like, you're blowing up. You're blowing up NBC, ABC, the ratings through the roof. And you're talking, like you said, I don't know why I'm whispering right now, but like you said about the exotic dancers all over the world, you're getting the best in each country. Dude, I'm getting excited thinking about it.
I promise you, unlike this poor breakdancing Australian girl that looked silly and is getting beaten up on the internet, there's no such thing as a bad pole dancer. As long as they, as long as they look the part. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, could you imagine you go to a strip club and they're like, and now welcome to the stage, number 37 in the world, number 1 in your hearts, Ivy Crest. And everyone's like, yeah, woo, Algeria, you're awesome. Like, I mean, dude, last place is first place.
And the sponsorship possibilities, Mercedes, Porsche, right? I promise you there's going to be at least 25% of those girls with those names.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the stage, Skull Mint from Denmark. And you're like, that's my girl. Like I'm a Denmark fan.
You know how much Snoop Dogg got paid daily to be whatever he was for the United States?
Whatever he was. So I've heard a few different numbers. Okay, I'm gonna guess, and then I'm gonna ask you who paid him. But anyway, a day, $50,000.
$500,000.
That, come on, dude. Come on, man. Come on. Who's paying that?
That I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. I'm assuming not the Olympic Committee, but it would have to be NBC.
That still seems really high, man. That's like almost as much as a Friends episode. Because I did hear, I think it was Germany, they were talking about their women's soccer team. And if they win gold, or if they would have won gold, they'd have gotten 20,000 euros a piece if they get the gold medal. And then the women, the U.S. women's team, it didn't say anything about that. But I know a lot of the European countries their countries are paying the money to the athletes if they perform. So maybe it's the U.S. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, whoever controls all that money, right? But that still seems ridiculously high. That's ludicrous.
No, because he's not an Olympic athlete. It has to be NBC. It has to be NBC and a sponsor. There just has to be NBC. Has to be, without a doubt. So, yeah, so that was kind of my point, is that if he's getting paid $500,000, Olympic athletes don't get paid anything. You know, this brings up the athlete pay conversation, you know, which there are some cases I'm for it and some cases I'm not for it. Like the NIL stuff for college, I think is going to absolutely just destroy the college sports in the future. Anyway, if he's getting paid $500,000, Mike Tirico's obviously getting paid a lot of money. Whoever's doing commentaries, obviously getting paid a lot of money. The Olympic athletes get paid nothing unless they win. Now, not saying they won't get money from sponsors later on, or even during possibly. I don't know the rules on that. But I know that the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee pay American athletes who bring home the gold $37,500, which is on the lower end of the scale compared to other countries. A silver medalist gets $22,500 and a bronze winner gets $15,000. So again, you know, it's the conversation of why are you doing it? And is it fair? And is it even worth doing it? Like, you know, be a cop, make $50,000 your entire life, put your life on the line every day, but do it because you want to be a civil servant. Be a teacher. Make $40,000 a year and deal with asshole kids and not be able to discipline or fight for, you know, defend yourself, but do it because you want to educate the kids. I mean, that's been the whole theory behind those jobs or any job. Get into radio. Make $14,000 your first year, Jason Bailey. You're doing it because you got, quote unquote, bit by the bug. Pay your dues and you'll make your money. Now, yes, it's true. It did work out. You know, it took me a long time, a very long time, but yes, it did work out. But I buy into you do it for the love of something, especially if you're representing your country. But I'm not going to disagree that there is an argument that times have changed. People's mindsets have changed. The things that we were doing those things for have changed. Work for this company because you love the company, you believe in the company, you believe in what you do. You're loyal to them, they're loyal to you. That does not exist anymore. Do it for your country. Is your country loyal to you? Well, there's an argument to be made probably by 80% of those athletes out there, especially the ones that were big fans of taking a knee in the last Olympics. You know what I mean? Which is all, personal preference. That's not why I'm saying that. It's just a very charcoal gray area. I don't think that Snoop Dogg should be getting paid $500,000 a day when the best, breakdancing Olympic athletes not making jack shit, for being out there. But they're doing it for their country. Should Snoop Dogg do it for his country? Probably not, because he'd rather make $500,000 a day. And I'm sure if you ask anybody, they'd probably say the same thing. You know what I mean? Very, 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 very gray area.
Is Tom Cruise making money too?
Oh, because he was at the soccer game?
He was at a few events. I saw him, and he's making appearances. He's up there. I mean, he's not doing Snoop Dogg craziness, but he's showing his face. I wonder, but I mean, he doesn't need the money, right?
No, well, everybody needs the money. Maybe if you don't need the money, but having money doesn't hurt. I guarantee that Tom Cruise probably has a movie coming out soon. That's why
that makes sense. Yeah.
That's why they do those types of things.
When does he not have a movie coming out?
Yeah, but that's what you do. So it kind of, I don't know. When I saw that, I like Snoop Dogg. Did I think he was good TV? Absolutely. Do I care if he makes $500,000 a day? No. I mean, if I did, that would be jealousy. I don't care what the guy's paying him. I'm just bringing up the argument of, you have Olympic athletes that train their whole lives that aren't making jack shit, and Snoop Dogg gets $500,000 a day just to be on TV and to be fun, to be Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? So what is that going to do? That's going to push the issue of, should Olympic athletes get paid? Then when you get into that conversation, you get into the conversation of what's happening in college sports today with the NIL stuff. Look, is it fair that universities are making millions of dollars broadcast money off of these collegiate athletes, advertising money, video games, merchandise, and the athlete doesn't get anything? No, it's not fair. But there is an argument that you are a college athlete and your compensation is an education, and that's why you're supposed to be there. But again, that rule, that kind of thought is out the window, because most of them don't even finish school, right? Especially football players. They'll go into the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm back. I went back and forth on this a long time ago, because Michael Jordan, obviously leaving North Carolina. LeBron James never even went to college because of this. And I was always like, yeah. And it was always like, they should pay these guys so we can see some of these guys, play for these different colleges and grow in that forum. But I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is now, man. I mean, have you seen how much, is it Shadir Sanders? Is that his name? Shadir.
Yeah. Deion's kid.
Have you seen how much money he makes a year?
A ton.
He's one of the highest paid college athletes, and he's not even, in the grand scheme of things, I wouldn't even put him like top 20, top 30 athletes, but because of his name, his brand, Colorado, position, maybe whatever. But so I think it's a good thing for that it's not all going to the NCAA, which is an archaic, idiotic organization, but there needs to be some type of cap on it. Because I can't imagine. Could you imagine being 19, 20 years old in college with $30 million?
No, couldn't imagine it at all. Yeah, I lived off of $20 a month. I couldn't imagine it at all. It's crazy. But, I don't know where to stand on this. There are a lot of aspects of it where it's like, yeah, hell yeah, they should get paid. But then there's the other aspect, because I do believe that you should go to college, get an education. And, like Emmitt Smith went back to UF years afterwards and got a diploma, because he promised his mother he would do that. Larry Fitzgerald, same thing. I mean, I think he was like the spokesman for like the University of Phoenix, go Fighting Phoenixes, after the fact, because he wanted to get a diploma. There's something to be said about, hey, I want to achieve that goal in my life, right? But then the argument is like, well, you go to college to get a job to make money. And I left college 2 years earlier, went into the NFL. First year, I made more than most people make their entire lives. Mission accomplished, right? I did what you guys are doing the hard way, so there's no argument for me on that one either. So it's like a really weird area. It's just, I think it's a mindset that, there's the old school mentality that I guess I have a little bit of, there's no doubt. But there's a mindset that says, like, what are you accomplishing as a person when money's involved? You know what I mean? I personally in radio, I gave up and created baggage for myself, bad baggage, because I turned down probably over my career hundreds of thousands of dollars of endorsements I did not want to do. And I did that because credibility. I learned when I got into this business from my mentors, one in particular, Johnny Magic. He says, if you put your name to something, you can't endorse Ford 1 month and then endorse Chevy or GMC the next month. And if you're going to endorse something, you better use it. And so there would be endorsement companies that would come in, or companies that come in and say, hey, we want you, to endorse it. They're spending a lot of money with the radio station, right? And it's a big sale, but you're part of that. I'm like, well, I don't need diet pills, and I don't believe in this is the day and age of the diet pills. I was like, I don't believe in them. I think they're all fads. They're not even fads, but placebos, and they're scams. And I turn them down, and I get in trouble for it because it would cost the radio station money. And I'd be
did you ever take one that you now look back on and you're like, man, I really shouldn't have done that? Did you ever endorse a product and like use it and you were like, what the hell am I doing? Did that ever happen?
No, because I was, I know right now Atlanta listeners are going, what about Joby's? You and Steve did Joby's, the bee stuff. I believed in that product because I'd always believed in raw honey for allergies and bee pollen and the power of it and stuff. And the guy that owns the company, Joe B., he's a legit businessman. He's a good dude. Like that was part of the deal before we did the endorsements. And the deal for the endorsements is that we both had to agree on it. Now, my partner was known to endorse anything. And I did not have the same mindset as he did. And there were a lot of things that he did. I just, I'm not him. So I just didn't believe in it. But the Joby's thing, I believed in. We both did. And, when we took it, everything we said was true. I mean, I can speak for me at least, and I think I can speak for him. Like, it was legit, but because it was a, bee pollen in a pill, listeners beat us up over it. They're like, oh my God, if we got to hear about this one more time, maybe it sounded just because of what it was, like it was us shoving this down the throat, but I believed it, just like I believe in testosterone maintenance. You know what I mean? You could say the same thing. Anything holistic, people are going to question mark. You know what I mean? You have to educate the market on it. That's all.
I think it's funny when you were doing that promo and you guys were sponsoring Joe B's, I texted you. I don't know if you remember this. This was years ago. And my brother-in-law got a case of Joe B's sent to his house. And I said, Jason, what did you do? Like he's all in. He's like, yeah, man, Jason's he's saying this product is the real deal. So he got a whole case. I think he used like 3 or 4 bottles. And then I kept seeing it. And I'm like, why aren't you using the rest of it? He's like, it's just so hard to remember. It's just so hard to remember. Cause then you have to like take them like twice a day or 3 times a day or something like that.
I think it was like 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. Or just maybe it was 2 a.m. I don't know.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same concept as, local honey. You'll see places on the side of the road. And that is true. Like if you have allergies, especially if you have allergies, if you get your body immune to the pollens in the air, in the area, then your body won't react to it. So they'll give you those little honey sticks that you drink down and stuff. And honey's good. It's a good natural source of energy, good natural sugar, so on and so forth. There's a lot of pros behind honey. But anyway, that was just one in particular. But there's no other product that I can think of that, I mean, I can tell you, well, I don't want to say it, but there was a ton that I turned down
a ton that I turned down.
Even in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you a story. This was the start of mine and the former market manager's relationship. Nobody knows the story. Actually, I mean, only the people, there are 4 or 5 people in the room that know the story. So I always had a loyal brand, loyalty to AT&T. And the reason for that is when I was doing radio in Tampa, this was in the mid-2000s, I endorsed AT&T, and I created a really good relationship with people that then became, or now today, high up on the food chain in Atlanta, actually, with AT&T and the spinoff of Cricket. And so there was a really good deal for me in the 2000s. Like, I still have the same phone number that I had when I was in Tampa. And so over time, they called it the DJ endorsement deals. Over time, they started to dwindle. They weren't doing them as much. But I still stayed brand loyal, hoping that I would be an exception to the rule because I did stay brand loyal and I'd been there for so long. And I had the relationship with the people that I had the relationship with. So when I got to Atlanta, I think we started it, and the company then nixed them all. It was almost like an overnight thing, where like we started and they're like, no, we're done with it for everybody. But there's a chance that we'll be able to do it for you. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, and maybe a few other people, I don't know. But that's what I was, if I remember correctly, that's how it went down. So one day after the show, this market manager guy, horrible person. I mean, just criminal, borderline. I mean, not even borderline, just total. I mean, he's got a stack of sexual harassment sheets everywhere he goes. I mean, just a bad person. Smart guy, but just a bad person. No longer in radio. And it's funny, I see his post on LinkedIn about how, you know, he wants to help businesses, and I'm like, good luck to whoever hires that guy. Anyway, and he's the one that eventually fired me. But this is what started it all, because we were both alpha males, and he didn't like me because of that. You know, and so he comes into the room, and he sits down on the couch. He does his little bullshit. Good show, funny show. That was funny. This and that. I'm like, all right, get to the point. Land your plane. And my partner had developed a very kiss-ass relationship with him, which he loved because my partner played that part very well. You know, rug burns on knees. And so they were going to, and I didn't golf. So they were going to go to a golf event or something together. And they needed somebody to do an appearance for another cell phone provider. And he asked me to do it. And he did not know my relationship with AT&T. And it was like kind of a jokey kind of conversation in the room. And I remember him sitting on the couch in the studio with his arms, you know, spread wide open and just kind of leaning back, thinking that it was no big deal. He'd ask and go. And I said, and my program director was in the room at the time too. And he says, you know, hey Bailey, can you do this for us on Saturday from 2 to 4? And normally I would, you know, and pretty much anything else to help out, I had no problem with it. But this I did because, again, my relationship with AT&T. And I said to him, I go, hey, look, I'd love to, but there is a conflict of interest. And he goes, he didn't expect me to say that. He just expected me to say, yes, sir, yes, sir. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, because he was new. You know, he was new to the market, and he was new to everything, new to me, new to the show. I said, I have a long-lasting relationship with AT&T, and we're currently working to get them back on the air here, and I think that this would not be a good move in order to help that out, right? That makes sense. I said, but give me a day and let me reach out to my people at AT&T and explain the circumstances and, you know, see if they flinch at all, then can I get back to you tomorrow? This motherfucker flips out. Okay. And he starts screaming at me in front of everybody. And he gets up and he leaves the studio. And as he's leaving the studio, the last thing that he says is he points his finger at me and he says, "You'll regret this."
And then he got you a T-Mobile contract.
And then, I mean, I think he tried to slam the door, but it was like one of those hydraulic slow shut doors, you know. And then he leaves, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And the program director, he was kind of soft, but he didn't do anything. Nobody did it. And I was like, "What the fuck was that, man? Like you threatening me?" So I opened the door and I started to go after him because I was like, "Don't threaten me," you know. And the program director said, "Stay here." But I was like, I mean, that's not how somebody in that position acts. You know what I mean? You don't do that.
But you did the promotion, obviously.
No, I didn't. I didn't even go to AT&T afterwards. I was like, after that conversation, I'm not doing shit for this guy. You know,
so you didn't even like look into it or talk to AT&T. So the real question is, do you still have AT&T?
I do, absolutely. I have fiber, and I still have them as my cell phone provider. Yes, absolutely.
Wow. How many years you been with them?
My deal with them started in 2006.
Oh my God, dude! Shop around. You're probably getting ripped off.
Well, but again, I'm brand loyal. They've always taken care of me, and I mean, I'm fine with it.
You probably get like half the price if you go to T-Mobile.
You probably get shittier service too. I don't know.
I don't know. No, I use T-Mobile, and my service is amazing.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, every time I talk to you, internet and all that good stuff, it sounds really good, really strong on your end.
But I save $20 a month.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. I'm a loyal person. If you're loyal to me, I'm loyal to you. Now, granted, they never did come back to the DJ endorsements because the company nixed it. But I have a very good friend. I like to call him a very good friend that works for AT&T. And if I have any issues, I can call him. If I need help, he helps me. So I built that relationship with the brand. And who knows, someday, maybe for this podcast, who knows that, and I'm not doing this big thing for a sell on AT&T. The chances of AT&T spending money as a sponsor on my podcast are slim to none. I know that. But what I'm saying is, my point is that me personally, I'm brand loyal. Going back to the athletes, there should be something to being about being brand loyal. But I do understand how people can be disgruntled and fall out of love with being loyal to a brand. I mean, that is today's world. The whole, and I talk about this all the time, especially for us Gen Xers that learn from our parents, which were baby boomers, that were told, you go to high school, maybe for them go to college. For us, it was go to college. When you get out, work for a company for the rest of your life. As long as you're a good employee and you do your job to the best of your ability and well, and you provide results, you can work there the rest of your life and be fine. But that's not the case anymore. There's very, very few, I don't want to say zero, but very few companies, especially big companies, that are brand loyal. You know what I mean? I mean, being in the radio business, there is no loyalty. Period. The end of story. Unfortunately for radio's not run, the big companies, by radio people. The decisions are made by boards that are bankers. And these companies are so in debt. I mean, another big company just had layoffs. And, in Sacramento, there was a Heritage Morning Show that got laid off. They've been there for like in the market for well over 20 years. You know what I mean? That sucks, man. Just to the audience, it sucks. If you've got somebody that works the front desk at a place that you're used to, accustomed to, developed a relationship with, you see them all the time, and they're part of downsizing their cutbacks, and they've been there for 10 years, and your customers are used to seeing them, there's a good chance you might lose customers. Same with the radio business. I mean, we're personalities that develop relationships with our audience. Like you're pushing people away from terrestrial radio because they don't have any friends left on the air. That's what we are. We're your friend, just like any company that has people that have been there for a long time. I hate to see it.
In all fairness, though, if you'd have just done the promo for the cell phone company, you probably would still be on the air in Atlanta. So you did this to us.
Well, that was very low on the scale of things that eventually took place. I promise you that. I guarantee that was not the final nail in the coffin. There were way bigger things other than that. It's just it's a tough thing, man. Loyalty and brand loyalty. It's a tough thing. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I see layoffs all the time, and I'm like, who's loyal? Like, why would you not bounce around?
I think small companies though. I mean, like I know a lot of small companies, like especially mom and pop restaurants. That's really where the loyalty's still at. But if you go to these huge chains or franchises, it's all about how much money they can make. And it unfortunately it's a lot cheaper to hire a brand new, a kid out of high school to work the drive-through at Arby's than it is to hire someone yours or my age and pay us whatever they'd have to pay us. So I think it's just comes down to dollars and cents, man. And loyalty is.
Well, you're right. People are looking for the best deal, and when you try to, fake that you're being loyal, I remember being in Sacramento and sitting in meetings and listening to these jokers who were running the joint just feed bullshit to people, and people believe it. Like this dumb midday girl, she believed this shit, and she would tell me, and I'm like, Are you special? Like you haven't? I guess you haven't been in this business long enough to realize they're lying to you. Like I know this guy's lying to me because he tells me he lies to people. So like they're lying to you, and they're like, oh, this company, the company that I work for, this company is the only radio company that's hiring people. And this and that. And I'm like, well, you're only hiring people because you have nobody in that position. Like you have to have somebody in your morning show spot. You have to hire somebody. Like you just have to do it. There's certain things that you have to hire for. That's what radio in particularly is. And that's what they forgot. Radio is the talent. If you have no talent, you have no radio. Music is not the go-to anymore for terrestrial radio. You have to find something that attracts people. Listeners don't give a shit about prizes. They don't. What they care about is their relationship with that voice that they hear at that time every day. That's all they care about. And you get rid of that person, then you have nothing. But you have bankers that are making this decision based off of numbers. That's the only thing. Any other job that you go to, nursing. Who was I talking to the other day? I was talking to somebody about the medical field. God, who was that? God, I can't remember, but I was talking about how California's medical system is screwed. And I told the story about how I went to the emergency room, 6+ hours, never got help, and this and that. And they explained to me that during COVID, nurses learned that they are more in demand than what they thought. And they were getting, like all the nurses now, I guess, are like self-contracted. They're like, well, why work in this one place for the rest of my life, never make any more money, when this place is offering me 3 times the salary because they need me?
Oh, okay.
And they'll stay there for 6 months, and then they'll find another place in the same situation. So they're like traveling nurses that are making, these nurses now are making so much money. This is just what I was told. God, I wish, I was talking to a doctor, about this. And they were like, yeah, that's the business now. That's what we learned, they learned during COVID, is that like they can make more money. Why would they stay there? You know what I mean?
Haven't they always made good money though?
No, God, no.
I thought they were pulling like 75, 85 G's.
But now I heard they can make double, triple that some places.
What?
Yeah, you've got places like here in Florida, the Advent Health Center, they've taken over everything. Like I don't think Advent was here. They're owned by the Seventh-day Adventists. So they're backed by that money, that religion money, which is endless, right?
Religion money.
Oh, that's who I was talking to. I was talking to my friend that he wasn't a doctor, but my friend that works for him. He says it's the best position he's ever worked in, best situation he's ever been in. He says these people are so good to work for. He goes, you walk into meetings, everybody's friendly, nobody's trying to stab you in the back. He's like, they're nice, and it's just a different mentality because they're run by religious people. You know what I mean? They're not run by numbers people. They're run by religious people that really honestly want to help people out.
What's a Seventh-day Adventist?
It's I don't know. They're religious people. You know,
what do they believe in?
They believe in God.
But why is it the seventh day?
Because on the seventh day, I don't know, they built hospitals.
Are they like Jehovah's Witness?
Seventh-day Adventists are millennialist Protestant Christian denomination, RA, that share many beliefs with mainstream Christian churches. The Bible, Seventh-day Adventists believe the Bible is their only creed and the most important book, and that God speaks to us through it. All right, sounds pretty legit. Creation, they believe in a literal and historical six-day creation. So I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Also, 6 days God created the world, and on the seventh day He rested. Okay.
Salvation, they believe in salvation by grace through faith in Jesus Christ, who is their advocate and judge. They believe that Jesus gave his life as a sacrifice. Sounds just like, it's Christianity, right?
Yeah,
The Sabbath, they observe the Sabbath from sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday. Death, they believe that the dead remain unconscious until the return of Christ in judgment, and that there will be a bodily resurrection when Jesus comes back. They do not believe that the soul immediately goes to heaven or hell for eternal bliss or torment. The end times, they believe in the apocalypse of John, that motherfucker, which will bring on the second coming of Jesus. They also believe that God will bring an end to suffering and death, and that people who accept Jesus as their Savior will receive eternal life and live with God forever in a new home. This all sounds great to me. I'll work for it.
So one, they go to church on Saturday, which is kind of weird. And they believe in purgatory, right? They believe in purgatory.
Other beliefs, they believe in the infallibility of Scripture, the substitutionary atonement, justification by faith, and conditional immortality. They also are officially Trinitarian, believing in the three co-eternal persons of the Godhead. But some Adventist groups have rejected this doctrine. Here's what could be a deal breaker for a lot of us. Seventh-day Adventists also have dietary beliefs, such as avoiding alcohol, tobacco, and mind-altering substances, and eating a well-balanced vegetarian diet.
So they're like Mormons.
No, Mormons are these people don't sound nutty. Mormons are nutty.
Mormons can't even drink coffee.
Yeah, they're cultish. You know, but he told me like these people they pray in the morning, like before work. Like I could totally do that.
Oh, you're talking about the hospital.
Yeah, the hospital. They all pray.
That's like in at church. I'm like, well, yeah, duh.
No, like they pray before meetings and all. Like I'm totally in. I think that's my next step. I think I gotta go work for something like that. You know,
you want to be like a minister or something?
I could. I really could. I think I could.
One of my buddies got ordained to marry somebody because they needed a minister or somebody ordained to marry him. So he got online. Dude, he was ordained in like an hour.
I bet you if I studied the Bible, I mean, I'm a good storyteller, really good. You know, and I can work a crowd. So who's to say that I couldn't be a minister?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't fake being happy all the time, you know. But let me tell you something about Joel Osteen. You know, Joel Osteen, my buddy turned me on to him and his books. And right after my first divorce, you know, I was a little lost in some spots. And that was the last book I read. And at first I said, man, I don't want to read this. I don't want to read this guy preaching to me about the Bible. I don't want to read that stuff. He goes, no, read it. He goes, it intertwines business, life, personal with faith. You know, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I read that entire book. I forget which book it was, but it was like blue and white. It was good. And I got to tell you, it was pretty good. I couldn't be a Joel Osteen. I couldn't be a Tony Robbins guy. I couldn't be one of those uplifters. I don't believe those people like 100%. I believe that they believe most of it. But I don't. There's no way somebody that can be that motivated and that happy all the time. It's just impossible.
So you'd be like a fire and brimstone type teacher, like or type minister, where you're just like teaching the Bible, but mostly revelations in the end of times, and get your life together, you're going to burn in hell. That's the type of minister you'd be.
Yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't go dark. I mean, I'd probably throw a little bit of that in. You got to have a little bit of fear factor. There's no doubt about it. I would work the crowd a lot. You know, I could probably point some people out and say, no doubt you've got issues. Let's talk about it. You know? But I mean, I make some jokes too. I mean, just saying the second coming of Christ is funny. You know, it's like, God, with the reload time, that guy's amazing. You know, it might not go over well, but
I don't think it'd go over well. Most Christians wouldn't like that.
Yeah, well, that's one thing is my church would have a sense of humor. You know, there's no doubt because that's one thing that bothers me about religion is that they get confused with comedy and blasphemy, and they think that any joke about religion is blasphemous because that's what they believe. But if you're not malicious at heart when you say said joke and you are a believer, then it's comedy. Case by case basis, right? And that goes for anything, in my opinion. So, I've known, I went to a private Catholic high school. Religion was my favorite class, to be honest with you. I had this teacher, Mr. Venucci. That dude was awesome, man. It was like history class with religion. I learned so much in that class. The dude dressed like Don Johnson. He had a blonde mullet. He was awesome. You know, he's still around too. I'm like,
it looked like Will Ferrell and Eastbound and Down.
This dude was cool, and you know, I got excited. It actually made me. And there was a nun there my freshman year, Sister. She had, of course, a Mary in there. They just called her Sister Mary. And I liked her. I think my freshman year she taught religion, and it made me want to get my CCD. And I started to get my CCD, but the CCD class was so boring that I stopped going. You know,
that's the minister class.
No, that's the class in order to become Catholic. Because I'm not. I was not baptized Catholic.
Wait, so you were trying to be a Catholic priest?
No, I was trying to be a Catholic.
You have to take a class for that?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be paid in, I guess. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, you got to go to your CCD classes.
You can't just show up and be like, I'm Catholic?
No.
Oh my God.
There's no religion.
I thought it was. Yeah, every religion allows that.
No religion. You can't just say you're something.
Yes, you can.
I mean, you can say it, but it doesn't mean you have to be baptized that religion in order to be. Yes, you do.
You can just walk into a Lutheran church. No, I'm not going to say Lutheran because they're too close to Catholic. You could walk into a Methodist church tomorrow and be like, I'm Jason Bailey, and I'm Methodist, and I want to be a part of this congregation. And they'd be like, welcome, Jason Bailey, and you're Methodist.
That is true. You can do that, and you can say that, but you would not truly be a Methodist until you are baptized a Methodist. You've got to take the dunk tank.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. You are not. Yes, you do. That goes for any religion.
No, I'm Baptist, but I've never been baptized in a Baptist church.
Then you're not a Baptist.
Oh, yes, I am.
Nope. No, you're not.
Yes, dude. I've never heard anybody say that because a lot of religions don't even baptize. So how do you get into like the Jehovah's Witness?
You gotta knock on his certain amount of doors.
How do you get into Seventh-day Adventists?
You gotta do 7 really cool things.
I think that
answers for them all, please.
Okay, well, Mormon's different. That's not like you said. That's more of a cult.
You've got to marry at least 8 family members.
All right, how do you get into Pentecostal?
Oh, that's easy. You got to do 5 things. Pentagram.
Oh, yeah. See, you just tied those together.
Yeah, nice.
Well, so Lutheran, the Lutheran religion.
You want to know how you become a Muslim? Probably not.
I was going to ask it, and then I knew you were going to say, you were going to say,
you got to go to jail and meet some fellow Muslims and get.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I could tell you, but you wouldn't survive.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's terrible.
There's a certain vest I think you have to wear. Or you have to be invested.
You have to be invested. That's how they put it.
Yes, invested. Definitely. No, you have to be, for Christian religions, you have to be baptized.
I don't think that's true. But
I'm telling you. I'm not even going to Google. I'm going to let the two peers.
Did you see the viral video of the guy getting baptized? It just came out, and he was, I don't know what church he was in, but I envisioned it would be one that you run. And he's standing there, and the preacher puts the mic in his face, and he's like, "Sir, I want you to tell the whole congregation right now, why did you choose to get baptized?" And he goes, "Well, I was a piece of shit." And everybody starts laughing. The pastor's like, "Well, that's a good enough reason for me." And he baptizes them. Dude, it's great. You got to Google it. It's hilarious.
So when I was a kid, I'll never forget this. I must have been, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years old. And my first stepfather, the abusive one, right? You know what? I should, before he dies, I think he's going to die soon. He's like 99. I should try to book him for this show. That would be.
I thought you were going to say I should get him baptized.
No, so he was Lutheran. If memory serves, he was a Lutheran. And this guy, as horrible as the biggest piece of shit I've ever met as he was, he would go to church every Sunday. Which is crazy because as a kid it confused me. I'm like, you cuss, you're an alcoholic, you beat my mother, you are an adulterer, but yet you're very religious. I just didn't understand. It was very confusing for me as a child. So we went to this new church, and the minister, whoever the dude was, what they call him, he brought us up in front of the congregation, and he asked his name, and he said Lloyd, and he asked my mother's name, she said Joan. And then he asks my name, and he kind of leans over. I'm in this little 3-piece brown suit. And he leans over, and he says, "And what's your name?" And I was like, "Jason." And he goes, "And how old are you, Jason?" And for some reason, I thought it'd be funny to be a dick, because I started early. And I was like, "A million." And I'll never forget the look on his face, because, he's working the mic, right? He's trying to get through this quickly. He's trying to do the introductions, and he's expecting me to be a nice kid. And I'm like, "A million?" The look that he gave me was priceless. Like, I'm going to fuck you like an altar boy. He just gave me this meaning. So as a kid growing up, and this is why, you always say, like, the older you get, the more involved in religion that you get, right? Because you're about to die, you want to repent, and, people that go to jail find religion, and then everybody else judges them and thinks that it's a cop-out and stuff. I don't think it's a cop-out all the time. Some of the times I do, but most of the time I think it's legit. And I think the older you get, because I'm kind of going through that now a little bit. I'd like to get back into religion. There's a lot of flaws in religion. There's no doubt. There's a lot of things I don't believe in religion. I'm not all in 100% in everything they say, but I do like the idea of having faith in something. Whether it's real or not, that's up to you guys to figure out. But there's nothing wrong with believing in a higher power for good. Not for bad, but for good, right? Because as human beings, we need that. They're called goals. Most of us, that are motivated have goals. We believe that we can accomplish more on a daily basis. If not, you wouldn't survive every day, right? So you gotta have that kind of mentality to believe in something that's bigger than yourself. So I like that. I always have. So anyway, but as growing up as a kid, I had a lot of bad religious experiences when I was younger. When I got into high school, outside of the principal of our high school, this woman, Sister Lucia, we call her Sister Lucifer, she hated me. She told my mother while I was in the room that I would never amount to anything. And ever since then, educated. But that woman's not real. She's not a human being. She's something. I don't know what she is because she's still alive and she still looks the same. And
wait, how old were you?
At that time, 15, 16.
And she was the principal?
She was the principal, yeah, of the Catholic high school.
And she's still alive?
Still alive. Looks the same. Like I said, she's not real. She's something from another world. I'm serious. Anybody who knows her will say the same thing. She's just not a real person. She's not human. I don't think she's human. But anyway, before that, but other than her, I had very good experiences with the Catholic religion. I loved being at a private Catholic high school for my high school days. I thought I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I liked the, I had 101 people in my graduating class. I loved the school. I loved what the school stood for. I liked the religious activities that we did. I loved all of it. I thought the Cardinal Mooney High School in Sarasota, Florida did a great job when I was there.
Was it always only?
No, it was co-ed. They were a lot stricter then, I believe, than they are now, for obvious reasons. But before that, even in the 80s, religion was still very strict and very old school mentality. My mother would tell me stories of when she went to private Catholic school when she was a kid. And, they would hit her in the knuckles with the rollers, they'd spank her, they'd beat her. And that's when all the weird shit was happening. I'm not saying weird shit's not still happening, but that's that old school mentality. And I think the new school religious people don't have that mentality. Anyway, when I was in 7th grade, because I was a bad kid, I was sent to a Bible summer camp. And it was a Baptist Bible summer camp. Baptists are very, very strict. My first 2 years of school, I went to a liberal Baptist college. Liberal's not in the political sense, but in the religious sense. Liberal Baptist private college. Wingate College is a liberal, was a liberal by Richard. Anyway, so I go to this camp, and I went with my best friend at this time, this guy Jamie, and he was even worse than I was. So, right from the, we were there for 2 weeks, and right from the gate, we snuck out, we hitchhiked into town to buy cigarettes. Doing things that we should have probably been killed for, just kids hitchhiking, just weird, bad stuff. We'd sneak out at night, we'd go down to the water. This is in Florida. We'd sit on the docks. The docks were pretty much level with the water that were surrounded by gators. You could hear them and see their eyes. And that was just stupid. Absolutely, we could go smoke cigarettes. It was just dumb, right? So, the first thing you do when you get to Bible camp is, of course, do what, Chuck? I can't hear you. Okay, you find girls. That's what you do. You find girls. So we found these 2 girls that were way hot, and not realizing that their boyfriends or whoever were at this camp as well. So anyway, it starts a fight with these 2 guys. They're big dudes, by the way. And we had our team, and they had their team. So we had this rumble in the middle of a Bible camp. During the summer Bible camp, this rumble of everybody at camp, met in the middle and started fighting. And for some reason, I get fucking blamed for it all. And one of the camp counselors pulls me aggressively and violently aside from this fight, probably rightfully so. And after the fight gets all settled and everybody stops kung fu fighting, he pulls me aside and he goes, "You're to blame for this. This is your fault. I knew it from the second I saw you, from the first day that you were at this camp. you were the devil. And you know what's happening to you, young man? No. What? The devil is taking his elbow and putting it into your rib cage. This motherfucker takes his elbow, puts it into my rib cage.
Shut up.
Devil. That's the devil. And he keeps doing it. And finally, I push him away. I'm like, dude, get the fuck off me. And he's like, see, that's you again, being aggressive. And he goes, you and your friend are out of here. And I'm like, okay. So we got kicked out of Bible camp.
And how long were you there?
Oh, we only made it. We made it, I think, less than a week. We got picked out. So I heard that.
Religion was really strict when we were growing up, right? I mean, remember the Ozzy Osbourne, was it Black Sabbath? You play it backwards, and it was all devil music, and women, girls couldn't wear long or short dresses. Dancing. When I was growing up, dude, there was a serious talk when I was like 9 or 10 if dancing was up to devil. And like my dad was like, I don't know if I can let you dance anymore. And then I think my mom talked about it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. Makeup, girls couldn't wear makeup. What?
Pentecostals are like that. Pentecostal.
Especially back then. Yeah.
I had a friend that he moved away, and I kept in touch with him. And he moved to like some small Midwestern town or something, and they were really strict because they could get away with a lot of the stuff because they weren't part of the mainstream world. It's almost like they didn't get information. And again, this is back in the day. There's no internet. This is in the 80s. No internet. So they probably don't even know what the rest of the world's doing, to be honest with you. And he gets out there, but he was a party guy. He liked to go to the bars. He liked to dance and all that kind of fun stuff. So he goes out there and tries to make new friends. And he was a normal teenager, like listening to rock music, Quiet Riot, those kind of things. And he gets out there. And he's got to run in with the law because he was playing his music too loud. Got pulled over. They took his music, and then
he took his music.
They took his music. They took his cassette. He had a cassette in his little butt. They took his cassette, and so he was staying. He and his mother were staying with, I think, her brother. And then he starts dating like the hottest girl in town, who is the minister's daughter. All right. And her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend or slam piece or whatever, he wants to beat him up. So like all this is going.
Are you just telling me the story of Footloose, like the story of Footloose?
No.
Is this a real story or are you making it up?
No, this is a real story. This is my buddy in high school.
They took his cassette. The cop pulled him over and took his cassette.
You know that's real in some of these Midwestern towns. You know that's real.
I thought you were telling me like the plot of a movie.
No.
It was a bit or something.
No. So he's got to deal with the law. He's got to deal with his minister. He's got to deal with the townspeople. He's got to deal with this guy that just wants to fight all the time. So he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to change it all. So he gets a job at the mill. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to have a dance, but I'm going to do it over the same line.
Stop.
So he goes to this town meeting, and he explains to, the minister is on this board. He explains to him, he's like, look, we need to dance. King James danced. Dancing, even in the Bible, they dance. They dance to celebrate their crops. They dance for happiness, for rain, for, everything.
None of that's in the Bible. None of that is in the Bible.
It is in the Bible. I'm telling you, it is in the Bible.
Dance for the rain.
Yes, they did. It is in the Bible.
You're thinking of the Native Americans.
No.
Are you Googling it?
Yes.
There's no rain dance in the Bible, man.
Psalm 149 and Ecclesiastes, whatever that is. All right? Praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord a new song. Let them praise his name in the dance. There is a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to laugh and a time to weep, a time to mourn, and there is a time to dance. And he read that line, and he read that line in front of the townspeople in order to have this dance.
You're lying right now. You're making this up, or it's a movie. There's no way he went in front of the townspeople and tried to get a dance. What a dance?
From the oldest of times, people dance for a number of reasons. And David danced before the Lord with all his might, leaping and dancing, and he slammed his hand down before the Lord. A town council member also quoted Psalm 149 defensive dancing during a speech at the same time. So that's what happened. Why, is there a movie like that?
That's a movie. It's a movie. Are you messing with me right now? I think you're messing with me.
No, my friend's name was Rent. I don't know the name of the character in the movie.
What movie is?
I don't know.
It's not Dirty Dancing. Is it Dirty Dancing?
No, this just happened to my friend Ren.
You know what? I gotta watch stupid 80s movies to keep up with all your freaking crap. I can't remember the movie. I know it's a movie. It's either Footloose or it's Dirty Dancing.
Or it's my friend Ren. He was really cool selection of skinny ties as well.
I don't know the movie, so
okay. I don't know what movie you're talking about. I've never seen this Footloose thing you're talking about. Oh, Zac Efron did that, didn't he?
He redid it.
Okay, just making sure.
The OG is Kevin Bacon, baby, forever.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Did not know that as far as you know. Hey, since Brandon again missed another episode because I guess he's the longest case of food poisoning ever known to man. Do you have a what's up, Chuck, that you can do for us?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
What have we got here? Fucking comedian, private joker. I admire your honest. Hell, I like you can come over to my house and fuck my sister.
What's up, Chuck?
He's a military veteran who has been rock star. He's Chuck. And that rhymes with...
It's time for What's Up, Chuck?
Today we're doing a tutorial on how to Chuck.
And a big thanks to Sparky's Lawn Service for sponsoring the What's Up, Chuck. What up, Sparky? Better known and operated. Sparky's Lawn Service. Trimming, edging, mowing. And Andrew Sparks. Just getting Andrew Sparks is price of admission alone. I gotta tell you that. So if you do need some lawn service, the best of the best. Based out of Dallas, Georgia, serving the Cobb, Paulding County, Metro Atlanta area. Please reach out to our buddy Andrew Sparks. Give him some business. Two peers, take care of your two peers, right? Sparky's Lawn at gmail.com. That is Sparky's with an S. Lawn at gmail.com, or you can call or text. You can actually get on the phone with Sparky's himself. 706-897-2199. 706-897-2199. Before you start, let me just say something. This is what I love about this show. What we do, and I've noticed this about the last. I mean, we do it every episode, and it drives me insane internally. It absolutely drives me insane what we do on this show. But it drives me insane because it works. This show is the best content that I've ever put out. But because I'm so radio programmed and radio minded, I write things down that I want to do on every episode. And we never fucking talk about it. Well, we kind of do. But we miss a lot, right? And then I forget and I never bring them back up. That drives me insane. Because I put them down for a reason. If I do a radio show, I always say the best radio shows are when you don't get to like 90% of the stuff. But it's so difficult for me, truth be told, to do that kind of content, even though I know that's the best content. Right? So it's a different world in the podcast world than it is in the radio world. And so I know that today's world, especially content ingestors, want that. You know, like the whole religion thing that we went on planet. Fucking write that shit down. Kidding me? You know, a million years we're going to have that conversation. You know, it's like that was always one of my favorite compliments that I would get doing a radio show was when people would say to me,
"Oh my God, how long does it take to script your show?" And I'd say, "What? How long does it take to script your show?" I said, "None of our stuff is scripted. What are you talking about? Like, you're just trying to tell me 4 hours, 5 days a week? You guys are able to have those types of conversations and do those types of things?" I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. It's very difficult to do. You have to be a certain type of person and be surrounded by the same type of people because you can't do it yourself. I could never just do it myself. It's always because I've surrounded myself with good, talented people to put on those types of shows. And doing what we're doing now, there's no way I can do this without Chuck. No way I can do this without Brand. When Brandon's here. Right, the jury's out. But it just amazes me how good these come out. Because like I have to go back and listen to most of them. When I'm uploading them. And then chop stuff out for Buddy to make the promo stuff and whatnot. I'm like, God, this is really fucking good. This is what radio used to be. This is what radio should be. This is what radio will never be. Is shooting from the hip, ad-lib, improv, off the cuff content. That's why podcasting is so popular now. And you're seeing talent, former radio talent, flourish in this medium. Is because they're able to do these types of things. So, for those that subscribe to this podcast, you do that because of this. Thank you. For those that are listening to this episode in particularly because it's a Freebae episode, this is what we do all the time. I'm not saying we're better than anybody else. I'm just saying if you enjoy it, please subscribe. Help a brother out. Get all the hundreds of locked episodes that are sitting in Spotify right now that you'll never be able to hear with other crew members, cast members, team members, whatever you want to call them, that are just as good. Guests and whatnot. And it just keeps getting better because things down the road are going to get good. I've got some announcements to make here probably in the next month or so that are going to help us out tremendously. I just need you guys to continue to support because without subscribers, without sponsors, to be honest, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I definitely can't do 4 days out of the week. This is not going to happen. This is my life. This is how I make my money. This is my business. So if I don't have this, I'm not begging you, but I'm begging. I just can't do it. I mean, we can do one episode, but I love doing this. I absolutely love doing this, and I love doing this type of content. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to do this type of content on the radio. Couldn't do it in California. We did our best, and it wasn't bad, but it was still cookie cutter. I'm not going to argue about that because cookie cutter by definition. You have to stay within the lines. So you got to stay within the lines. You got to hit your time. You got to get out. 47, got to get all the music in. Got to make sure you play your, the 8 songs, 6 songs, 5 songs, 3 songs. Oh my God, you only play 3 songs. I want you to play 4 songs because that one song is going to make a fucking difference. Blah blah blah. There's all these things that they make you do. And the audience doesn't give a shit. Absolutely just does not fucking care. What they want is this. And for my brothers and sisters that do this, that used to be in the industry and that are doing this now, God bless you. I salute you. Stick with it. We'll win. We'll get through this. We'll make it happen. This is the next big and best thing. I promise you. But we got to support each other. And the audience has to support us. So I'm not just saying us, everybody. Because it's tough. Going back to the old job thing, man. Another round of layoffs. There's going to be more layoffs. Other companies, every company's doing it. It's not just one. There's not one devil in the industry. It's the industry that's the devil. And they don't know how to fix it, unfortunately. But I do have a theory, and I'll say it again. My theory is that radio will come back around and realize all the hurt that they've done, and all the harm that they've done, and their audience is nowhere to be found, and their advertisers are nowhere to be found. So you're going to need people like me. I'm not saying me in particularly. I'm saying people like me. The people that are no longer in the industry that are doing this. And you're going to want our content, and you're going to get our content, and you're going to get it for pennies on the fucking dollar. And I'm okay with that. Just as long as I can control my content. You know what I mean? Control my content, put the word out, get me more listeners, get me more followers, make sure I can keep my lights on and put food on the table for my family. My content is what is important. That's all I care. But anyway, I was actually complimenting Chuck. So there you go. What's up, Chuck? Give me a what's up.
I don't even know where that came from. So today I'm going to tell you about the time that I shut down a reality TV show.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. So a few years back, this is something I have not shared with anyone on the show because there's obvious reasons. But a few years back, my wife thought it would be a great idea to sign us up to be on the reality show Wife Swap. Right. So I didn't really think too much of it. Thought it was going to be, one of those drop in the pan. They never call us back. We're good. They did call us back. They did come interview us. And next thing you know, they're like, dude, you guys are going to be on the show. All right, sounds good. So the whole planning comes into it. And I get a phone call, and the producer's like, "Hey man, do you have any guns in the house?" And you know me, right? So I was like, "Yeah, I have a lot of guns in the house. Can't have that. We're gonna bring a car to your house. You're gonna have to lock all of your guns in the trunk, and then we'll have a security guard there that will make sure they have the keys. So if there's anything like happens, emergency, the guns will be there, but you can't have access to them." Because I'm obviously going to be having some woman staying in my home with me that doesn't know me. Okay, fair enough. Well, I didn't really feel comfortable with it, so I hid one of my guns in the house, way up on top of the cabinets. And so they come in the day before production, and they start redoing all my lighting. Like they're hanging like the big studio lights everywhere. And I'm sitting there. I know the guns up on top of the cabinets in the kitchen, and I'm like, oh God, help me! What do I do? Like, do I say something now, or do I just play it off? And the guy that was hanging the lights just happened to be like the most flamboyant man you've ever met in your life. So when he gets up on my cabinet and he goes to hang the lights, he sees a SIG. 228 or whatever up there, and all I hear is, "Oh my God, there's the gun!" Right? And like everybody starts like freaking out. They're looking at me, and I'm like, I have no idea whose gun that is. That's weird, And I'm like, what? There's a gun up there, and they're like, oh my God, there's the gun. We gotta sweep the entire house. The entire house has to be swept. So I had to play it off. I had to sit down with the producer or the producers. And talk to them about, yeah, man, like I hide guns in my house all the time. It's a common thing I do. And I must have just forgot that one. So they searched my entire house, dude. Like the weirdest stuff. Like made me go around pulling plants, like the fake plants out of the planters, because I do hide them in there sometimes. But anyway, so that was the first and only time. So we actually ended up having to start shooting a day late because security had to clear my house a second time because I lied. Told them all my guns were in the car, and they weren't.
That was the one where you swapped with a lesbian family, right?
We did, yeah. And that's funny because the first day when I came in, they don't know who you're swapping with. And I walk through the door, and I see the woman that I'm swapping with, who's a sweetheart, who I love very much, and we're still good friends. But she had like a mohawk, and immediately I'm like, Megan's with a chick. Yeah. They're lesbians. This is gonna be awesome.
So did you have an inside scoop to get this gig, or did they just audition and they just picture it?
Yeah, Megan sent in a tape, like a video of the family, and like did the application, and then they contact you. They make a monetary offer for you to do it, and then if you accept it, then they go you on the show. I want to say for 5 days it was $7,500.
That's pretty good.
I think that was it. Because after taxes, it was like $6,000, I believe. That's what I remember. But it wasn't worth it, man.
Really?
Not at all. It was. I mean, my experience was better than Megan's, I think. But Megan had a much more lockdown crew. So like when you get done shooting, they do not let you interact. They send you to your bedroom, and then whoever's home it is kind of free reign. You have a security guard that lives in your house. So like you have a security guard sleeping on your couch. You have a security guard that's watching you. Well, me and Krista, the one that was here, our security guard, I don't know if he was new or he just didn't care. But me and her would sit up all night, like drinking a couple bottles of wine. Kind of just. The biggest thing was they said, look, you can't talk off camera because if you guys get into some drama, and we have to pick this up tomorrow, and nobody knows why there's trauma, that's going to be a problem. So I had a better experience, but not she didn't.
So I'm wondering why. I wonder if they assumed because you live in Georgia, conventional family, you automatically hated lesbians, or you were. I mean,
absolutely they did. I know people are going to go watch it now. It was ridiculous the way I was portrayed, dude. They made me like some gun-loving conservative, freaking like I hate everybody. And the editing was just, like things that I would say, they would take it and they would cut it into another piece where you couldn't see my face. So you would think I'm saying something I wasn't. Because I made jokes. I mean, dude, I was like, oh, yeah, I voted for Hillary. I mean, I made jokes, but they just, man, when there's like a they had to pick the bad. They had to pick the one that was going to be the villain. And it was me. It was terrible, man. God, it was terrible.
Did you get any internet kickback from people?
I stopped reading the comments. I mean, a lot of people, there was some good stuff. There was some bad stuff. There was some really weird stuff. I think the worst was remember, was it a GIF? Like the GIFs that people that were on the phones. So like I would type in "Dear God" on my phone, and all of a sudden, like my GIF comes up from Paramount, and it's like me, like, "Dear," what is it?
GIF, like Jiffy.
Is it a GIF?
GIF.
Anyway, I had a GIF and I didn't know it until I typed into my phone. I was typing to somebody, "Dear God," and my GIF came up, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
That means you made it. If you got one of those, that's pretty cool. I gotta tell you,
I'll send it to you. It's good.
So like, did it end with you having to go, you know what? I learned a lot, man. I got a lot of different I think lesbians are okay now. I understand them.
So what's funny is there was a lot of stuff that happened, but at the end they put you in that room, and I don't know what happened to me, but I got something. I don't know if I was getting sick or what was happening, but have you ever like had a situation where you can't stop coughing? Like physically cannot do it for more than 30 seconds. You can drink water, but all of a sudden that tickle happens. So that happened to me on the day that we went to that room. So if you go back and watch it, when I'm in the room, you'll see the veins on the side of my head like bulging, and I just look like I'm about ready to lose it. It's because I was trying to hold in this stupid cough, and but no, man. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how those shows exist. You gotta have a good guy, you have a bad guy. You got a good versus evil, and they pick which is good and which is evil. So, you got to have conflict. Conflict is king. I mean, you got to have conflict with anything. I mean, people like to hear conflict, but better yet, I think that's like in our business, any talent coach will tell you, you got to have conflict on the show. Well, there's got to be conflict. And I don't disagree with that. There has to be conflict. Everything, like I said, Luke, Darth. Luke can't be Luke without Darth Vader. Darth Vader can't be Darth Vader without Luke Skywalker. You got to have good heaven and hell. God, devil, that's what makes everything work. So you have to have that. That's what attracts us to it. But I always like to add, yes, I agree. Conflict is good for entertainment purposes as long as there is some type of conclusion, where there's necessarily a happy ending, but there's an ending because my good friend Bubba Ray Dudley, who is in the wrestling world, is a master at the crafts, and the craft is storylines, and he's very, very smart when it comes to that. So I've learned a lot from him with my business, with bits and storylines and stuff like that, of how to explain them. And, he always says you got to have a payoff. There's a payoff for everything. And you start with the payoff. Like, what are you trying to achieve? And then you work your way towards the payoff. You know what I mean? So, so like with those shows, they started with, that's the bad guy, but the bad guy at the end has to become a good guy. So that's where you start. And then everything leading up to that is how they got all that shit.
I don't know if I ended as the good guy, but I'll never do it again. So that's the good thing. That's the good part.
You're going to come back for Wife Swap All-Stars?
No, I actually was gonna do the Amazing Race though. Me and Krista, the girl that I swapped with, that sounds weird. We actually were like, dude, we need to put in for that because, they're put it this way. We couldn't be more opposite, but we become very good friends. So
I have an old friend that won that one year, years ago.
what? The Amazing Race?
Yeah.
Isn't that like $1 million?
I don't know. His radio name was Justice, and I think he was in Philadelphia. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in years, but he won the Amazing Race for me.
Yeah, he won $1 million, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm not your friend anymore." you got the curve.
We weren't really like friend. We're just like radio buddies. But is that how much it is? $1 million? That's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's $1 million, man, to win it.
Oh shit! I always wanted to do Big Brother.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh no!
Well, you'd have to be on Celebrity Big Brother.
There you go. And I almost got on it. My friend Kara Monaco was on it. She's a former Playboy Playmate, and yeah. So Kara was on it, and then they were going to bring her back with a partner, and she got on it. Well, one, because she was who she was, but she got on it because there's a guy out here in Daytona Beach I think he's like a headhunter for a lot of the reality shows. I don't know if he is anymore. This is kind of back in the day. So he was, like one of the girls that was on The Bachelorette was from Orlando, and she was a big thing at one time. And I remember this girl. She was a waitress at Mako's, and she was the farthest thing from the most attractive girl I've ever seen. Braces and everything like that. Next thing I know, she's on the front of like People magazine. I'm in and she's all over the news, and she's like a big to-do. And I mean, I don't know whatever happened to her. I don't remember her name. So like a lot of those people on those shows would come from in or around the area. Mm-hmm. and so I almost had a chance to go on, but there's no way that I could take off a radio for 3 months, because that's what it is. Like, you have to give up your 3 months out of the summer to go on Big Brother.
That's how long they're on there for real?
Yeah, it was like 90 days. You have to be available for 90 days. Like, there's no way radio's going to let me off for 90 days. It's just not going to happen.
A bunch of losers.
Right. I should have still done it because, look at me now. But, but like even now, 90 days. I mean, I don't know if my wife could survive with me for that 90 days, especially now that I should have done it when my daughter was still at home. That would have been good, but I couldn't do it now. It's a long time, but that's my I did audition for it one time. So I went to the audition, and this was before the whole care stuff, but I went to the audition, and they were doing it here locally. And I'd kind of been in because I knew some people with CBS. And one of the most famous players for Big Brother was an old acquaintance of mine, this guy Boogie. And so I had Boogie get a hold of the executive producer, this woman, Allison Grodner. I don't know if she still is the executive producer or not. And say, heads up, friend of mine is going to audition. So like, if you make it to the top one, they can get you to like the top 100. Then after that, it's up to you. So I was like, all right, I got to come up with a gimmick, So instead of just being myself, but I came up with a gimmick. So I went audition. I was like, I'm going to be the first Big Brother housemate that dips. And I'm going to leave my dip cups everywhere. And I'm just going to drive everybody insane. I'm going to leave dip cups everywhere. Like I thought that would be good conflict. That didn't go over well. They didn't care. So I never got the call. Then I had then I had the executive producer on my radio show when I was in Tampa, and I told her the same thing, and she was like, "That's horrible. Why would you do that? Just be yourself." Oh shit. It's too late now. Anyway, all right. A couple things here. Podcast Imports 3, October 12th, Tannery Row, Buford, Georgia. We'll all be there. We're going to do a live podcast recording. Chuck's band Distinct Grace is headlining the night. We'll have $1,000 acoustic, $1,000 cash and prizes acoustic karaoke contest, special guests, food, drink, good times. It's one of our events. We hope that you make it out there. It is a ticketed event. You can buy tickets night of show, but I'd rather you get them beforehand, like now, because come this Friday, they're going from $20 a piece to $30 a piece. So save yourself some cash. Get your tickets now, thebaileyshow.com. Now, free tickets. If you are a subscriber of the BS, subs for stubs is what I'm calling it. So I've already handed out numerous tickets, just had some other winners the other day. And if you've been a subscriber for forever, don't unsubscribe and resubscribe to win. All right. You're still part of the pool, right? I just randomly grab people on a weekly basis. I'll go grab like 4 to 8 different people and I'll just shoot you an email. So check your email, whatever email you use to sign up for the podcast via Spotify, right? So we have that going. So we hope that you become a subscriber. This is a Freebae episode that we release every Wednesday. We hope that you like what we do, and we hope that you subscribe to the podcast to get the other episodes and all of the locked episodes. So you get 2, sometimes 3 more a week, and then you have hundreds and hundreds of interviews and guests and good times and different incarnations of this show that are up on thebaileyshow.com, which is on every platform. But in order to get the locked episodes, you can only get those on Spotify. Okay, understand that. That is the only place you can get the locked episodes. People have that issue. They're like, man, I listen to you all the time on iTunes or Amazon or Google or whatever. They're like, I subscribe, but I can't get the episode. Spotify is the only place you can get those. That's how Spotify gets you to come to their platform, right? Got it? Sponsors, if you want to be a sponsor, we'd love to have you. TheBaileyShow.com. Let's have a conversation. Already talking with numerous people right now about some really cool stuff, including a podcast in Pores 4, a poker tournament, all kinds of cool things. So we got a lot of things in the hopper, I should say. But if you'd like to be a sponsor, have your brand read, get an ROI. All of our sponsors have a nice ROI. They're seeing results. It's good. Also, website development and SEO work. We've teamed up with justtheg.com, who just redid my website, thebaileyshow.com, if you want to see his work or see his work, justtheg.com. He's redoing the mycourtcaddy.com. He's redoing my wife's website. He's doing our Super Seeker Special Project website, which you guys will be the first to know about when we get everything rocking and rolling. All right, I think I covered everything. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. This episode and Monday's Honey, I Raised the Kids episode, there are full episodes. They're always up on our YouTube channel, along with the other content. Like, share, follow, and share our content on social media. Please share our content at Listen to the BS. All right, Chuck, you got anything before we get out?
Yeah, man, I got one complaint for HR. Brandon's lack of work ethic is causing me to work more.
Okay. I will give that to our HR department.
Thank you.
That's not a problem. All right. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Hope you subscribe. If you are not a subscriber already, have a great, safe rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com. Yeah, baby.